Okay, welcome back and let's continue. In this video we are going to, guess what? We're going to do some dodging and burning again. But this time we're going to take care of her lips, her hair, and of the overall look of her body. Okay, let's start by dodging and burning her lips. So, go create another layer. Change the blend mode from normal to soft light. Choose your brush tool with white as your foreground color. And this time, change the opacity to about 13%. Go into 100%. And now we're just following the shadows and lights that are already there, okay? So we're not gonna creating something new. We're just using what already is there. We're just enhancing them a little bit, okay? Sorry. Okay, so let's make the whites a little bit wider. I just want to make that lips pop. Okay. Now hit X to change your foreground color and background color. Now use a black brush and make this part of the lips darker. Inside of the mouth a little bit darker. Here a little bit darker. Okay. Now outline the lips. Okay, now have a look at their before and after. And now that's of course by far too strong. What we're gonna do next is blurring the lips a little bit. So blur, Gaussian blur, with a radius of about 5 to 8 pixels. Maybe 9 is okay. Hit apply. There are two blend modes that you can use for this really good. It's soft light, and if you want to have it more intense, you could use overlay. But in this case, I would stay with soft light and even reduce the saturation of the layer a little bit. Down to about 70% will do it. So if you now look at the before and after, you see that her lips become much more full and round, and that's great. Go a little back and have a look at the before and after. Now let's just define the lips really beautifully. So rename the layer, call it Dodge and Burn Lips. The next thing we're gonna do is the same but for the body. So I start with the body, I will do the face at the end. Create a new layer, change it to soft light. And now do basically the same with the body. Take your brush tool, start with your whites. Don't make the brush too big, that's very important. And paint on her skin. Okay, wonderful. Same thing here. Here. We just want to make the picture feeling more three-dimensional, more, yeah, I don't want to say plastic, that sounds so negative, but more like, we want to give it more depth, more contrast, okay? Same thing here on the leg. Enhancing the highlights. Cool. Same thing here on the belly. Nice. On the breasts we do the same. And here you have to be really careful, because if you're doing it wrong, they will look flat. And that's the last thing you want to make them look like, okay? You don't want to make them look flat. So look at what you've got here, and then you have to work it in. Sometimes it won't work at the first try, Even I do have to make it twice or 3 times sometimes, so it's okay. Now change over to the black brush and to the shadow areas. Make them nice and dark. So dodging and burning really is a good way to form the body and to give more depth and dimension to an image. You could also, this is not the right image for what I'm going to say, but you could also visually enlarge, this sounds weird, okay, make her breasts look a little bit bigger just by changing light and shadows. That's not the right image for doing something like this. So you shouldn't overdo dodging and burning, but you should not do no dodging and burning. Okay, now you can have a look at the before and after, and you will see the body has become by far more, more depth, more dimension. Okay, wonderful. Next thing we're going to do is soften this layer as well. I want to have it more soft. Go to filters, blur, Gaussian blur. And this time I would say 10 to 11 pixels is just fine. Hit apply. Now reduce your opacity down to about 70%. That'll be enough. Now you have a look at the before and after, and it looks just great. Maybe you have to reduce it a little bit more, depending on your image and on how you'd like it to look. Okay, now let's do dodging and burning on her face. And guess what? Therefore, we create a new layer. But before we do that, rename the other layer to dodging and burning body all or something like this, just for you to know what's on the layer. Okay. Go closer to the face, and now we're doing basically the same as we just did before. Enhancing light and shadows. So you have to be careful, because if you make this light too big, the nose will look bigger, so you have to be really careful with that. Just enhance what's already there. And now start darkening down the shadows. So if she's got some makeup, you can also go with the makeup, okay? So you should do dodging and burning that it fits to the makeup and such things. You can ask your makeup artist for some tips and tricks about where to set highlights and where to set shadows, and she will definitely help you out with that, because there's such a lot to know. And what I'm going to do is darkening down the eyebrows a little bit more. Yes. And now it's just doing the same. Blurring the image a little bit, repeat Gaussian blur, and reducing the opacity down to about 75%. Zoom out a little bit and have a look at your before and after. You just define the face a little bit more. So it depends on your personal taste if you want to make it that strong. I will go even further down with that because it's too strong for my taste, for my personal taste. I just want to have a low enhancement, just a little bit, not too much. So in the face, it's starting being too much really quick. But that's okay. Cool. Next and last thing about dodging and burning we're gonna do for now is dodging and burning the hair. Therefore we create a new layer, renaming the old layer to dodging and burning face. And the new layer is, we don't set the new layer to soft light, but we set it to overlay. Okay. Now zoom in and simply follow the natural lights and shadows of the hair, okay? Choose white as your foreground color. And start. So in the beginning this will look weird and we will have to remove some opacity and such things, but in the end it will look great. That's basically the way how they do it on the shampoos and something like that, making the hair look great. We do that really roughly here. You can take more time if you want, but I just want to quickly show you how to do that. That's by far too rough. Okay, I admit that's too rough. Okay, go down here, there, here. Okay, maybe this straight. Okay, that should be enough. I don't want to overdo it right now. Or maybe this one here looks great. You got the point. Hit X, choose black, darkening down your shadows. Okay, have a look at the before and after. That's of course by far too strong. Hit Command F to repeat the last effect, which was our Gaussian blur filter. Maybe hit it twice, it's fine. And reduce the opacity down to about 50% or less. And now the hair will look beautiful and defined. Zoom out a little bit. Disable your help layer group. And have an overall look over your image. And it looks just great until now. So in the next video we are going to do some color effects and separating her a little bit better from the background by using these color effects. So see you in the next video.